Okay, so it's a trend at this point. I swear I'm not trying to make this happen. So you know how I left my phone in the fridge? Well, I lost my Bluetooth speaker the other day. I search everywhere and then I think, oh, there's no way. There's no way that one of my roommates thought. So I had put my Bluetooth speaker on the top of the fridge to just play music for us while we were having the event. And I just figured I'd leave it up there because I was super tired afterward and I wanted to sleep. And so I left it up there and I come back later after sleeping for like 7 hours. I'm telling y'all, I called out of work because I really needed the day off. I needed to catch up on sleep. Like they have been working me like crazy. But anyway, so I couldn't find my Bluetooth speaker in the place where I put it, which was on top of the fridge. And so I'm like, where is it? And so I opened the freezer door. Y'all, my Bluetooth speaker was in the freezer for I don't even know how many hours, and I really hope it still works. Actually, it's right over here. I have not even tried it yet, but here's to hoping, you know. In the words of my cousin, I guess the next electronic up would be my laptop, which is would be a crisis because that's my life right there. So yeah, you know, and if that isn't a sign of how busy I've been, I don't know what is. In other news, you know, I feel like some of my last videos have kind of been about my struggles, about trying to find my place here at the DCP, and I think honestly within the past week, like I really have come to such a good spot. Like all of a sudden I'm really appreciating my program. I think it just took me 2 months to make friends, to find my friends here, you know? And now that that feels solidified, now that that's really set in place, I feel like fulfilled all the time, like whether it's being at home doing projects here or sleeping or being out with friends that I actually know, like I'm getting to know like super well and like feel comfortable around, you know? And so that's been the biggest blessing. And not only that, but I feel like within the past week, I just have felt in the best place so far while being at the DCP in regards to my faith. And I was able to host that little gathering with a ministry here. We did a little waffle bar and we watched an episode of The Chosen. I called it a movie morning. Me and my friend hosted it. Went super well. I also got to spend so much time with my sister in faith, who we always are talking about faith related things and just God's purpose for our lives, and just, you know, that's just kind of part of our everyday lives. And so with her it's just the best because it's like we feel so free to talk about that. And so getting like spiritual fulfillment from spending time with her, just the fellow strong believer that she is, and then also with the gathering that we had with a group of people in the ministry, and also getting to lead the Bible study. That was my first time leading and I was really nervous. For some reason it's like I had this odd peace about it, you know, as before it started, like just about the whole thing. And like during me, you know, I brought up questions and I really kind of opened up the floor to other people to speak, and I really feel like it was a good discussion. Like it wasn't super one-sided. We had lots of people kind of chime in or like ask questions, and it was just so productive. And so I went to work feeling extremely just poured into that day, and it really helped me to get through that 10-hour shift. Work has still been super long hours, but we're getting through it. I think as the new CPs come in, which they have so far, it's getting less so, and also I'm being asked to close less often, which is kind of nice. I was telling my parents, like, if there's one word that describes my DCP, like, it would be change, just because I feel like every single week looks so different. And this week had a lot of different, you know, events and news of its own. I got to try out Tiana's Bayou, the new ride, but that's been breaking down for like almost every cast member who's tried to do the preview. And so sure enough, we got halfway through up the first hill and it broke down on us, and we kept waiting there like a long time hoping that they would re-up it, but they didn't. So and the thing is that we're not guaranteed another preview, even if it breaks down while like on the slot that we signed up for. So my friend, she reached out to the people that have been kind of hosting all of the previews, and they allowed her to be able to sign up for another slot to try out New Ride again. So I'm really hoping I can do the same thing. I was able to finally get in my medical accommodation this week. My leaders, I mean, I feel like I've been really hard on them in terms of my reviews of them.
They're humans just like everybody else. They have their flaws. I think it's really just about being on their good side.
Because I will say that one definitely did kind of stick his neck out a little bit for me, which was nice. He has really been helping me through this medical accommodation process. And so I'm really hoping that mine gets approved and that we get to that soon, because that would mean that I would be transferred to another role, just because the role that I'm in has been really hard for my iron deficiency. Also, more news this week. I finally heard back about the character auditions. It was definitely what I was expecting, to be honest. I think I had set the bar low for what kind of news I'd be getting, and so it didn't hurt whenever I did get that news. They didn't have a role for me currently, and so I wouldn't be getting that extension offer, which was fine. You know, I think honestly, I asked God for answers, and he gave them, you know, that's my answer. I know where I'm headed this fall. I know that it's going to be to my transfer university, and this has all happened within like a month, but it feels right. And more than feeling it, that's the only open door right now. And so I'm trying to trust it and trust the process, you know, and know that God is closing other doors for a reason. You know, he's closing that extension, the character performer extension for a reason, that he's closing the door with my previous university for a reason. Like there's all these different ways that I'm being pruned, so to speak, as my dad put it, but that it's all been a very healthy, growing season for me. I've talked a little bit about these after hours events, and they don't happen very often, but when they do, they can be really fun. And so this past week, actually, it wasn't an after hours event in particular, but it was this company bought out the entire park for the evening, and it was like an event that lasted from like 7 p.m. to like 11:30. And it was wild, y'all. It was completely wild. They had like a buffet, like 2 or 3 or 4 on the street. Plus they had like tons of bars just set up everywhere, in addition to the actual bars that are already like at Disney, like in the quick service areas. And so the alcohol was completely paid for. And so like it was just very interesting seeing all these guests with this company just get completely drunk by the end of the night because all the alcohol was free. And I will say that was like the funnest shift that I've ever had, just because they had like a DJ on our actual street in Hollywood. And so we were all just jamming out, and like it literally was playing like right outside of my location. And so we were just dancing in the kitchen, and I was like singing along, and we didn't have any like we had barely any guests come up to the window ask for food until like maybe the last hour. And so like it was the most fun thing. Not to mention they let us ride Tower of Terror on the clock to start our shift off with, just because we had nothing to do until the actual event started. This company that bought out the entire park, they paid for Maroon 5 to play this concert like in the main, like right in front of the Chinese theater in Hollywood, if you know the layout. And so not only did I get to hear Maroon 5 live on the other side of the wall from where my location is, but my friend saw Adam Levine in our cast cafeteria like 20 feet away. And that's one of the things about being a cast member. Like you can get terminated, you can get fired if you do like harass the celebrity, so to speak, if you ask for a picture, if you even like talk to them. Like, well, I mean, bothering them, I would say, is what gets you fired. But I think most of the cast members don't even like get close to that line. They just completely ignore the celebrities because they do not want to get fired. But you know, my friend was able to sneak a little video. So I got asked out by one of my coworkers, and this guy I kind of been flirting with for a while, but he's super shy, so I didn't expect anything. Anyway, so he asked me out on a little like park day date. And so yesterday we went to Epcot because we both had agreed that that's like our favorite park. And so we spent a while just in the World Pavilion, like in the World Showcase, walking around the different countries. But then also this morning, like he really wanted to join us for church. And so that was like the coolest thing. And he hadn't been to church in a while, so that was really cool to be able to like share that with him. So anyway, it's been going really well. He's super sweet. And regardless, I think, you know, we're going to be good friends because he wants to go into, you know, acting, directing, all that. So it's kind of funny that we have a commonality in that way. First 2 months, I was really struggling to like find my place here and understand why the purpose of coming here and all of that. But I think in the past week, like not only, like I said, I have found such a community of friends, but they feel like actual friends, not just stand-ins, you know? I think the group from work that I sort of got involved with,
it really felt like middle school or high school whenever I felt super on the periphery of things, and just that people were more about the drama and just that kind of toxic atmosphere. And I kind of was over that, and I didn't really feel a place there, and nor did I feel really welcome there.
But then the past week, like I really have felt like I have a family here. That's the kind of posture that I want to assume while I'm here. I want to be attentive to God while I'm here, but also attending to the people in front of me. We have sort of our first roommate conflict type thing going on. Not directly involved with me, but it kind of affects all of us since, you know, there's 4 of us that live here. We've had to go to the front desk, and we asked about the whole like roommate conflict, like how they approach that.
And the way they do it is you have to file an intake form first. So the people that are basically having a problem with the other suite may have to sit down with one of the flamingo attendants who kind of make a list of all the different conflicts.
After that, the next step would be mediation. And so they send out an email to all 4 suite mates, and then each person has to respond and say, yes, I'm good to go for the next step. And so that's kind of where we are right now. We're kind of waiting on that mediation process. That's all for this week's vlog. I'll see y'all next week. We're trying the cheeseburger spring rolls with Susie.
Yay!
She recommended them, so we're gonna see how it goes.
They're delicious.
Okay, so we just tried it.
So
and
good.
it's really good.
10 out of 10.